In the middle of the sea, on a tiny, broken fishing shack, a starving puppy stood alone. His ribs showed with every shallow breath. His paws shuffled on the old wooden boards. There was no food, no water, no way off. And that's when Wesley White's kayak appeared on the horizon. Wesley was in Belize on a photography trip, taking a short break from shooting to paddle along the coast. The water was calm, the mangroves swayed gently, and then he spotted it, an old shack sitting in the shallows, far from the busy shore. He paddled closer, curious to see what was inside. At first, it looked abandoned, just tangled nets and cracked wood. Then a small movement caught his eye. Out stepped a puppy, tail wagging weakly, his eyes locked on Wesley as if he had been waiting for him. Wesley's heart dropped. There was no one else around, and this little dog clearly hadn't eaten in days. Without thinking, Wesley reached out, scooped the trembling pup into his kayak, and started paddling back toward land. But there was a problem. Wesley was leaving Belize in 36 hours. Saving the dog wasn't as simple as taking him home. He needed food, medical care, and a safe place to stay long after Wesley's flight. Back on the mainland, Wesley told the resort staff what had happened. Their reaction was immediate. They had to help. One phone call led to another, and soon Wesley was connected with Dr. Mia, a local vet, and the nearby Humane Society. Dr. Mia examined the pup, now named Winston, and confirmed what they already feared. He was severely underweight and dehydrated. But there was good news. With treatment, Winston could make a full recovery. The Humane Society found a foster mom named Melanie, who promised to care for him until he was strong enough for a forever home. Wesley handed Winston over with a mix of relief and sadness. He was safe now. But Wesley had no idea if he would ever see him again. When Wesley boarded his flight home, he carried one image in his mind. Winston looking up at him from the back seat of the car, still wagging his tail. Then came the updates. The first message from Dr. Mia was the one Wesley had been hoping for. Winston's blood tests showed he would survive. Melanie sent photos of him eating, playing, and gaining weight. His eyes grew brighter, his steps surer, his tail faster. Every update brought Winston closer to a life he could never have imagined on that shack. 2 months later, Wesley got the news. Winston was healthy enough to travel. Getting him from Belize to Montana took planning, paperwork, and help from countless people along the way. But the day finally came. At the airport, Winston spotted Wesley from across the room. His tail went wild, and he pulled toward him with all his strength. When they met, it was as if no time had passed. Winston jumped into Wesley's arms, licking his face with the same joy he had shown that first day on the shack. This time, though, there would be no goodbyes. Winston's new home was a world away from the saltwater and rotting boards he had once known. In Montana, he had open fields, snow to dig in, and a family that adored him. Every morning he greeted Wesley with boundless energy. Every night he curled up beside him, safe and warm. 5 years later, that bond is still unbreakable. The little dog who once faced certain death on a remote shack is now living the life every dog deserves. And it all happened because one man decided to paddle towards something instead of away from it. Winston's rescue shows how quickly lives can change when someone chooses to act. It also shows the power of community. Resort staff, a dedicated vet, a caring foster mom, and strangers online all came together to save one life. That's the kind of teamwork that turns a desperate moment into a lifelong story. And for Wesley and Winston, it's a story still being written every day. If this story warmed your heart, like this video, share it with someone who loves a good rescue, and subscribe for more unbelievable true tales that prove kindness can change everything.